Me here in the studio is Justin Danhof, ESQ, the General Counsel and Director of the Free Enterprise Project over at the National Center for Public Policy Research, one of the conservative think tanks here in Washington, D.C., nationalcenter.org. Justin, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Tom.
Thanks for joining us. Did you write this, food companies urge to stand up, or is this?
Yeah, that's our press release, yep.
Yeah, okay. National Center for Public Policy Research warns food giant investors of proposals, high-cost scare tactics, and pseudoscience. That proposal being?
At General Mills, there was a proposal on the proxy statement that would have required, if passed, the company to remove all GM ingredients from its entire product line.
GM being genetically modified.
That's correct.
Not General Motors.
That's right.
Okay. So, I can understand this was, of course, voted down. I mean,
correct.
You've got
97% voted against.
Genetically modified foods. Genetically modified corn is what, like about 80% of the U.S. market.
Right.
Soybeans are 70-80%. I mean, it's pretty hard for an American to not eat genetically modified foods. And I realize there's this debate about whether this stuff is safe or not. What I don't understand is why conservative groups and the manufacturers have spent so much money lobbying the American people to say you don't need to know whether this is in your food or not.
Oh, I think that's incorrect. The GMO labeling effort, first of all, the FDA is in charge of labeling, right? The FDA has evaluated this issue multiple times. And when you break down the produce, the GMOs, at the scientific level, they can find no distinction between how it ingests into your body. So the FDA...
Well, again, you're trying to make an argument for the science. I'm talking about the politics of it.
Oh, sure. So the policy is very...
Why not let people know what's in their damn food?
Well, because they do know, right?
No, they don't.
Yes, sure. The FDA...
If I walk into a supermarket and I don't want to eat genetically modified corn chips, I occasionally you'll find one that says organic, no GMO, but...
I don't know about occasionally. The organic food lobby, they worked very hard to get a federal label standard for certified organic foods. Right. So if you buy something that's certified organic, there are no GMOs in that product. They worked hard to get that.
But the existence of GMOs are not disclosed.
That's correct, because scientifically, the FDA can't label something if there's no scientific distinction.
That's nonsense. There are substantial scientific distinctions, and perhaps more importantly, I mean, one of the big concerns about GMO foods is that they're being modified to be more tolerant of things like glyphosate, Roundup. So bingo, we've got higher levels of Roundup residue now in our food. So if you're getting a GMO food, you're getting higher levels of herbicide in your body, and
sure.
And the glyphosate, might wipe out your kidneys. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go along.
You're talking about one side of the policy debate.
No, I'm saying I want to know what's in my damn food, and why.
And you do.
I don't. Why is it in California that Monsanto spent millions of dollars saying don't vote for this?
Because they're fighting against a sinister organic food lobby.
Sinister?
For 20-some years.
Hippie farmers in the country? Seriously?
Here's the two-prong attack that the organic food lobby has been engaged in for years.
Right.
Demonize a perfectly healthy product. Every independent scientific body to evaluate GMOs, we now have over 2,500 independent studies verifying the safety of GMOs. So the organic food lobby, they demonize a perfectly healthy, nutritious product. Then what? You slap a label on it after you already scared everyone. So people are going to be scared away of buying a perfectly healthy product, and guess who the beneficiary is? The organic food lobby. You are advocating the most capitalistic thing to go on in this whole exchange. The organic food lobby, they're in it for the money. They're not in it for you.
Then why are you not working for them?
I work for the National Center for Public Policy Research. I don't work for Monsanto. I don't work for General Mills. I don't work for Pepsi. I don't work for Coca-Cola.
Why would you be opposed to people knowing what's in their food?
I am not opposed to people knowing what's in their food. You can go up and down the food aisle. I was at the General Mills meeting yesterday. Every product they had that didn't have GMOs, guess what they had labeled on it? Non-GMO.
Right.
If it was certified organic, certified organic. There is a marketplace for that, and the retailers and the food distributors are realizing that, so they are labeling it, but there is no federal labeling standard yet for non-GMO. What the organic food lobby wants is they've scared folks into thinking GMOs are harmful, even though there's no scientific evidence proving that. The American Medical Association, this is a quote. I want to read this. Bioengineered foods have been consumed for 20 years, and during that time, no overt consequences on human health have ever been reported.
We've seen an explosion in obesity in the last 20 years. We've seen an explosion in type 2 diabetes in the last 20 years.
There's no
we've
correlation.
Seen an explosion
Post
in
hoc
nephritis,
ergo
kidney failure.
propter hoc. There's no correlation.
Sometimes correlation actually is causation. And
well, you can't just say it with all the National Academy of Sciences, the World Health Organization. Are you telling me all of these groups are corrupt?
Yes. Are you familiar
the
with
Royal Society of Medicine's corrupt?
Dr. John Fagan, Dr. Michael Antonow, researcher Claire Robinson. These are
independent
GMOs.
Verification?
Yeah, this is,
no, they have not been. There's no studies that have been independently
by
verified.
pro-GMO lobbyists that 1,700 studies show GM foods are safe.
Well, we're over 2,500 studies now.
Show nothing of the sort. Many of them not only show evidence of risk, but the review also excludes or glosses over important scientific controversies or GMO safety issues.
Let's talk about controversies. Let's talk about golden rice. Let's talk about India. Let's talk about malnutrition and blindness going on over there.
The real reason they say that golden rice, GM golden rice, isn't available has nothing to do with anti-GMO activists and everything to do with basic research and development problems.
Considering in 2002 it was deemed safe by independent studies, hard to...
Then where is it?
That's right.
Maybe your independent studies are not working. Maybe your independent studies are being paid for by industry, and the people doing the studies know exactly what industry want.
Bought and paid for.
The AMA is
the European Union spent over $200 million and 10 years evaluating GMOs to determine what we already know.
That they should always be that they should all be labeled.
They're perfectly safe.
And many countries in the European Union do not allow them to be grown.
You are doing the work of the organic food lobby for them. This is incredible. They are a sinister group.
There's nothing sinister about wanting to know what's in my food.
About lying for 20 years about a perfectly healthy product. There's nothing sinister about that.
Genuinely sinister. What's genuinely sinister is killing the soil with glyphosate. Putting turning weeds into steroid weeds.
No. The EPA would not.
Your genetically modified organisms are jumping into the wild. You're creating Franken weeds after you've created Franken plants. This is not healthy for human beings. It's not healthy for the planet.
In the U.S., the FDA, USDA, the EPA, the EPA regulates when it comes to the pesticides. The GMOs are the most studied crop in the history of the world.
So then proudly label them.
Why would we label them?
Because you want to hide it. Because people know there's something wrong with this. There's
something wrong with it. We've eaten trillions
too much
of
Roundup
meals.
on this stuff.
We've eaten trillions of meals.
And we have explosions of diseases that we can't explain. We don't know why there's a massive autism epidemic going on right now. Maybe it's GMO exposure to GMOs. We don't know why there's a massive obesity epidemic going on.
That's irrational scaremongering. I'm going to stick to the science.
You think it's because the pigeons or the planet Xenu has sent some people down?
If the EPA could regulate someone out of business, they would. They evaluate the pesticides. They determine what can come to market and what can't. The USDA is also involved,
and I think
the FDA
with
is
all
also
of these
involved.
agencies, you're looking at massive amounts of regulatory capture. You're representing the side of a multi-hundred billion dollar a year industry.
I'm standing behind science.
That is regularly buying politicians.
If you want to be a flat earther when it comes to GMOs, fine. I'm going to stand by the science.
I would like food from living soil, not from soil that has been poisoned.
GMOs are great for the ground because we use less of it to produce more. We use less water to produce more. We use less fossil fuels to produce more. It's a very environmentally friendly way.
More herbicide, more pesticide, more
well
poison.
Within EPA limits, well within health limits, all evaluated more than any product.
And you absolutely trust our government.
I trust our government and
the
AMA
National Center for Public Policy research is. We absolutely trust our government. Whatever our government says, we go with.
And independent science as well.
Right. Okay. So you're in favor of stopping global climate change?
Independent science.
Okay. Great. Justin Danhof, stick around just a second.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
General Counsel and Director of the Free Enterprise Project over at the National Center for Public Policy Research, nationalcenter.org. Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Tom.
Good talking with you. We'll be right back.